He worked nights to pay for university. Then he built a phone network with 60 million subscribers. Then he became worth $6.7 billion. His name is Mike Adenuga. And the way he got there will change how you think about money, markets, and power. This is not a luck story. It is not a connection story. It is a pattern. A specific, repeatable pattern that he used across 3 major plays over 4 decades. By the end of this video you will know exactly what that pattern is. And you will never look at the market the same way again. Stay with this. Ibadan, Nigeria. 1953. A boy is born into a household that teaches him 2 things before he can walk. His father is a school teacher who believes education is the only ladder worth climbing. His mother is something different entirely. She is a trader, Ijibu royal lineage. And she does not just sell. She reads rooms, reads people, reads the gap between what something costs and what someone will pay. That gap. That space between cost and value. He absorbed it watching her before he ever set foot in a classroom. By the time he finished secondary school, he had made a decision that would shape everything. He was going to America. Not to stay. To learn. To return. But America does not care about your plans. It cares about your money. And he had almost none. So he did what needed to be done. He drove a taxi through American streets at night to pay his university fees by day. When the taxi shifts were not enough, he worked security. When security was not enough, he studied harder. 2 degrees in business administration. Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Then Pace University in New York. Then he came home. Not with money. With something more dangerous. A mind that had been sharpened on 2 continents and was now pointed directly at the largest underdeveloped market on earth. Nigeria in the late 1970s was a country with massive needs and almost no indigenous solutions. Everything, food, equipment, materials, was coming from somewhere else. The middlemen were making fortunes. The infrastructure was thin. The gaps were everywhere. He saw all of it. And he started small. Deliberately small. Lace fabric. Soft drinks. Products that every Nigerian household needed every single day. He imported them. He distributed them. He learned how goods move, where they slow down, who controls the checkpoints. By 26, he had made his first million naira. Not by accident. By design. By 30, he was moving into bigger territory. Sawmill equipment. Beer importation. Each new industry teaching him something the last one could not. The pattern was forming. Find a market with high demand and weak supply. Enter fast. Move smarter than the people already there. Extract the lesson. Move again. He was not building a business. He was building a machine for finding opportunity. By 1990, he was ready for a bigger bet. He applied for an oil prospecting license. To understand what that meant at the time, you have to understand the landscape. Nigerian oil had been flowing since the late 1950s. But every single barrel being pulled from Nigerian soil was being pulled by foreign hands. Shell, Chevron, Total, ELF. These multinationals had been operating in Nigeria for decades. They had the equipment, the expertise, the government relationships, and the quiet assumption that this sector simply was not for Nigerians. No indigenous company had ever struck oil in commercial quantities. Not one. Adenuga applied anyway. And then he drilled. In 1991, his company, Consolidated Oil, struck oil in the shallow waters of southwestern Ondo State. Commercial quantities. Verified. Real. For the first time in Nigerian history, an indigenous company had done what the multinationals had silently said was beyond them. Read that again. The first time. Ever. That company is now called Conoil. It still operates in the Niger Delta today. But here is the thing about Adenuga that separates him from almost every other entrepreneur you will study. He did not stop and celebrate. He did not build his identity around being the oil man. He was already looking at the next gap. And what he saw next would not just make him richer. It would change the daily lives of 200 million people. Picture your life without a mobile phone. Not as a punishment, as a reality. Because for most Nigerians in 2001, that was simply the situation. Mobile phones existed, but access to them was a luxury that the system had made almost impossible. Here is how bad it was. You wanted a SIM card. You walked into a shop. The card alone, just the card, before you made a single call, cost between 20,000 and 25,000 naira. For context, that was a significant portion of a monthly salary for most working Nigerians. You bought the card. You made a call. The network charged you 50 naira per minute. And then came the part that nobody talked about loudly enough. If your call lasted 5 minutes and 1 second, you were billed for 6 full minutes. The extra 59 seconds you did not use. Gone. Charged. Every time. 2 private operators dominated this market. MTN, backed by South African capital, and Econet, backed by Zimbabwean capital. Between them they controlled almost everything. No meaningful indigenous competition. No pressure to change. No reason to offer anything better. When the question of per second billing came up, the idea that customers should only pay for the exact seconds they actually used, both operators gave the same answer. Impossible. Not viable in this market. Maybe in 10 years. This was not incompetence. This was a calculated position. Per second billing would cost them revenue. Rounding up was profitable. The monopoly was comfortable. And comfort does not change without pressure. Adenuga had been watching this for years. In 1999 he applied for a GSM license. He got one. Then it was revoked. The reasons were opaque. The process was political. Another man might have walked away. He went back. He fought. He applied again. In 2003 he received a new license. August 2003. Globacom launches. Day 1. Not month 6. Not after they had established themselves. Not after they had tested the market. Day 1, Globacom launched with per second billing as a standard feature. The thing both established operators had called impossible. Done. Immediately. On the first day of operation. But Adenuga was not finished. The SIM card that MTN and Econet were selling for 20,000 to 25,000 naira. Globacom launched theirs at 6,999 naira. Then dropped it to 500. Then 100. Then in October 2004, Globacom began giving SIM cards away for free. Think about what that did to the market. Overnight, the barrier to entry for mobile communication in Nigeria collapsed. MTN and Econet had no choice. Both operators switched to per second billing within 2 months of Globacom's launch. Not because they had a change of heart. Because Adenuga had made the old model impossible to defend. The price of a SIM card across all networks fell. The cost of calls fell. The number of Nigerians with access to mobile communication exploded. In 2001, Nigeria had roughly 400,000 active phone lines. Today that number is over 200 million. Telecom's share of Nigeria's GDP went from 1.5% in 2001 to over 17% by 2021. The sector became one of the largest drivers of economic activity in the country. One man's decision to enter a market and enter it differently changed what 200 million people pay every time they pick up a phone. Globacom today has over 60 million subscribers. It is Nigeria's only indigenous mobile operator at national scale. And it exists because one man refused to accept that the status quo was permanent. Now step back from the story. Because this is where the real lesson lives. Adenuga did not invent per second billing. The technology existed long before Globacom launched. He did not discover oil. Foreign companies had been pulling it from Nigerian soil for 40 years before Consolidated Oil drilled its first well. What he did, consistently, across every industry he entered, was find the gap between what was possible and what the current players were willing to offer. 3 major plays. Commodities, oil, telecoms, and within each one, multiple entry points. Each time he walked into a space where the existing players felt untouchable. Each time he found the thing they were unwilling to do. The lower price. The better terms. The service they had decided was not viable. Each time the market moved. That is not luck. That is a system. Monopolies do not fall because of technology. They do not fall because of regulation. They fall when someone enters the market willing to give customers what the monopoly decided they did not deserve. Adenuga built his entire career on that one insight. As of May 2024, Forbes puts his net worth at $6.7 billion. Nigeria's second richest man. Fifth richest in Africa. He has no social media presence. He does not give interviews. He has never written a book explaining his methods. He does not appear at conferences to share his philosophy. He has one response to his critics, his competitors, and the people who said impossible. Results. They call him the bull. The question his story leaves you with is not about Nigeria. It is not about telecoms or oil or fabric. It is this. In your industry, the one you work in, the one you are trying to build in, the one you watch from the outside wishing you could get in, what is the thing the current players have decided is impossible? Because if history teaches us anything, it is that impossible is almost always a choice. Usually the choice of someone who benefits from things staying exactly as they are. Adenuga saw that. Over and over again. And he built $6.7 billion by betting on change every single time. Drop your answer in the comments. What is the impossible thing in your market? And if this changed how you see wealth, power, and markets, subscribe. Every week we break down a story like this one. The people, the decisions, the mechanisms behind the largest fortunes ever built. You will not find this anywhere else.